Hello everyone, this is Saeed Rashad from Eyes for Arabs group on Facebook, and today I'm going to talk about 13 common mistakes that you may make in writing task 1, the academic module. This is actually the second video in writing. I have filmed a video before about writing task 1, which is about how to write a letter, and I was talking about 10 mistakes. So if you're planning to have the academic module test, then you need to know these steps. Let's start with common mistake number 1. Common mistake number 1 is not writing a precise introduction that reflects the question statement. Where's the question statement? The question statement is this part. The graph and table below show blah blah blah. This is the question statement. You need to write an introduction which may be like 1 or 2 sentences which reflects this question statement. You need to write no more or less details. You need to be precise. You need to use the right tense, which is the present simple tense. When you say the graph, then you say shows or illustrates. The graph and the table illustrate without S, okay? So this is the first common mistake that IELTS candidates make when they write the introduction. They write more or less information, and this introduction really does not reflect the question statement. That's a very big problem. Common mistake number 2 is not writing a good overview that highlights the key features of the infographic. Okay, a lot of people don't write the overview. The overview, you should start it with overall, comma, then you start to write 3 or 4 main points from the infographic without providing any data. It should be like 2 or 3 sentences long. Okay, it's not that long, and it should be a summary of the whole infographic, but remember not to provide any data or numbers in the overview. And that's probably the most important paragraph in academic writing task 1. Now let's move on to common mistake number 3. Common mistake number 3 is providing data in the overview. As I said just now, don't provide any data in the overview. You just need to provide these data in paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. Common mistake number 4. Not including the most important points in the 2 body paragraphs with data, of course. Some people just keep talking about the infographic. They describe it. No, you need to provide the most important points. You just don't have to describe it at all. You can just talk about the peaks, the troughs, the plateau, the comparing and contrasting ideas. You can just talk about things like trends and anomalies, and you will find all of these things I say in my IELTS booklet. Please go back to it. Common mistake number 5. Including minor details of the infographic. Some people tend to write very minor details, like they are very trivial things, they are not very important at all, and they insist to include them in the report, and this is a very big mistake. You need to include only major details. Please remember that. Common mistake number 6. Using contractions, not as in didn't, or personal pronouns like I and we. You are not allowed to use contractions, verb contractions like isn't, didn't, won't, okay? You just need to use did not, does not, will not. Okay, and also a very big mistake is to use personal pronouns. This is a report, so please don't provide any personal pronouns like I or we. You can just say it is considered, it is important, it is valuable, like this. But don't say I think it's important, I think it's valuable, and so on. This is common mistake number 6. Let's move on to common mistake number 7. Common mistake number 7, not paraphrasing the question statement or the data provided. Some people tend to write the same words. They copy the words from the question to their report, and this is a very big mistake. You need to use synonyms. You need to paraphrase your writing as much as you can. But make sure that you provide the closest meaning to the meaning given in the question, because some people just need to paraphrase and they provide some words which are not relevant to the topic, so they change the meaning. Common mistake number 8: not being intelligible or understood by the reader. Some writers, when you read the report, you don't understand anything, almost anything. So I just need you to be clear as much as you can and try to stick to the point. Don't go off the track. Just focus on the topic and try to use like shorter sentences. Okay, you don't have to prolong your sentences and write like a sentence which takes like 3 or 4 lines. You need to be understood by the reader to have an effect on him or her. So this is common mistake number 8. Let's move on to common mistake number 9. Common mistake number 9: not responding accurately to the task. You are giving some data, some numbers, some names, years, so you need to respond accurately. You need to be as much accurate as you can. Otherwise, you will not get the score that you really want. Common mistake number 10: repeating information and words while writing the report. You don't have to repeat words. You don't have to repeat information. You don't have to talk about minor details. You just need to talk about major and the very important information in the infographic with data. Common mistake number 11: not writing in paragraphs. Don't just write in prose, P-R-O-S-E. Now you need to divide your report into 4 paragraphs. The introduction, the overview, that's in the very first page, and the second page in the writing answer sheet, you can just write paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. Don't just write in prose or in bullet points. You just need to write in paragraphs: introduction, overview, paragraph 1, paragraph 2. Common mistake number 12, and the one before the last, because we have only 13 mistakes: not using the correct tense or simply making simple tense mistakes or spelling mistakes or punctuation mistakes. You need to review some vocabulary and the punctuation rules. You have 15 punctuation rules in my IELTS booklet. Please go back to it. And some people tend to make some simple mistakes when they write the diagram show blah blah blah. This is a very big mistake in the introduction. You need to say the diagram shows. You can just say show if you say the diagram and the line graph show. Okay, and some people are not very sure which tense to use. If you have the infographic in the past, so you use the past simple. If you have the infographic in the future, like in 2030, so you need to use the future tense. If you don't have any years in the infographic, like in the past or in the future, you just need to use the present simple. But make sure the introduction should be in the present simple tense, not in the future, not in the past, even if you're giving some information in the past or in the future. Okay. One last mistake is mistake number 13, which is writing a conclusion. It's not an essay. Writing task 1 academic is not an essay, so you don't have to write a conclusion at all. Because if you write a conclusion, it means that you are going to summarize and outline some information, and you're not allowed to summarize or outline any information at the end, because if you do so, you are repeating information, and this is prohibited. This is not allowed at all. Okay, so don't write a conclusion. Remember, you need to write an introduction, an overview, paragraph 1 and paragraph 2, and that's all. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to receive them in the comments below, and I'm gonna answer all of you. Thank you very much. كنتم مع مستر هابي، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.